Okay, in this short clip, we're going to be looking at creating doctor's details section, which is section 9, which links to one of our previous videos, which was under section 7 at the end, where, if you recall, does your child have a medical condition, allergy, or special educational needs? So, if they clicked yes, it would take them to section 8, and in a second, we're going to click section 9 by going to the last thing that we've worked on and clicking the what looks like an equal sign to add a new section. So as in all the videos, we're going to start off with keeping consistency of naming the form in this section, so this is something that the parent carers can see, and then we're going to add a title section, which is entirely up to you. We've decided to call this section just additional details. You could call it doctor's details, medical information. It's entirely up to yourselves what you call this. And then we've added some questions. Before I start adding the questions, I'm just going to show you how you can link sections, so that obviously if someone clicks no, they can jump straight to the medical bit. So going back to section 7 and going to the end question that we had here, we can now click here and choose section 9. So if someone clicks no, parent or carer, they can go straight to section 9. So we're going to continue by going to section 9, clicking the last thing that we worked on, and we're going to add another question in here. So our first question is that we wanted to put in was, is there anything else that would be useful to know about your child? And we'll leave that as a paragraph. It's parents and carers' choice, so we're not making it a requirement. And then we'll move on to the next question. So our next question is, we want the GP's details. So we're just going to type that in here. And paragraph's fine. Gives parent some opportunity, but we want this to be required, so we want the GP's details, name, and so on. And we're going to go to the next question, which is surgery's name, and it's a short answer, and we do want it to be required. I think the GPs is entirely up to you. We found with our paper-based when we was using it a couple of years ago, that a lot of parents didn't know the name of their GP when they was filling it out. So it's entirely up to yourself whether you make that required or whether you leave it. And because what might be more important is obviously having the surgery's name, and the postcode. So obviously if there was an emergency and you needed to pass this information on to an ambulance or to another professional, you would have that information. So you can make these required in terms of short answers. And yeah, so that's the postcode and that's short answer. And we'll move on to the next, which is the most important bit of this section, which is making sure that we've got, hopefully, a contact number that the parent or carer can provide for where they're registered, the child is registered with a GP. And same thing again, that can be a short answer. Now you can leave that as we have before as a short answer, or you can go to these 3 dots and click response validation, just to make sure that it's a number, that no one can just type in letters into there and change this to a number, and that will mean that it won't accept anything other than a numerical number. Okay, so that's it for this section. I'll see you in the next one.